Stellen wir uns mal alle drei hin, oder was? Ja, so haben wir gedacht, dass wir jeder mal einen Vorschlag packen können. Ja. Aber vorneweg hier nichts nach Stück gemacht.
Time on track is clear. Team Alexander Czulaj, der erste Spurbob. Start verfolgt.
Das sind jetzt erstmal wieder bloß hier so die Spurbox, ja. Ja, ja, immer einer zusteigen unterwegs. Immer das Stückstein. Ich glaube, mal die andere
Und angekommen im Ziel, damit Aufruf für Spurbob Nummer 2.
Die haben keine anderen Hobbys, oder was keine andere Erfahrung, keine Freude dahin. Beste beim Fahrer ja kommen. Ja, ja. Gleich noch Hut ab, das hat mich wieder sauber.
Wie wir beginnen im zweiten Durchgang bei den Monobob Georgieta Popescu aus Rumänien. Georgieta Popescu, please prepare the first and the second heat of the women's monobob competition. Ankommen. Sie kommen da. Uhrzeit 7:09.
Welcome back to our night race here in Altenberg, the season opener for the Bobsleigh World Cup. And after two-man this afternoon, it's evening time, and we are ready for the second and deciding heat of the season opener for the Women's Monobob World Cup. Well, after the first run, 23 sleds have been narrowed down to the fastest 20, and they will go in reverse order of their first heat performance. Both times will count, and the lowest aggregate time will be our winner. So who's in the mix? Well, as ever, Alana Myers-Taylor is in the mix. She returned to World Cup action last season as a new mum. Ended up with a silver medal here in the race in February. And she lies in third place in a tightly packed lead group. Top six covered by just 1/1300 of a second. Alana is 500ths off the lead, 200ths off the lead, and this is a little bit of a surprise to Laura Annan, the Swiss driver. Now, she benefited from good early ice, but also had a strong run, and this could be a major feather in her cap. But the leader after the first heat by those 2 slender hundredths of a second is the last woman to win a World Cup race in monobob, Brianna Walker. So the Aussie has had good results last season with a couple of silver medals, 3 bronze medals, and then in Lake Placid, finally that much-awaited gold. So let's take a look at our leaderboard. Brianna Walker, Deborah Annan, Alana Myers-Taylor, the top 3. Look down the top 6. They're covered by 1/1300ths, and you've got double world champion Laura Nolte, Lisa Buckwitz, last year's World Cup champion, and Andrea Grecu. Kaylee Humphries is a little further back on her first race back from being a new mum, ahead of Kim Kilicki, Katie Bile, Keisha Love in the top 10. And down at the bottom of the top 20, we find Georgetta Popescu, and she is the first to go. Sarah Blizzard of Australia, the rookie, Patricia Tanirova of the Czech Republic, another rookie, and Lea Hasselvanter in only her second World Cup start in monobob, didn't make it through to get that second heat. So with snow still lightly drifting down, it's not heavy snowfall, but it's just enough to be a little annoying. Track temperature is going to be key. Now, it is damp, of course, because you got that moisture in the air from the snow, so frosting is definitely a potential problem, because you have to keep the refrigeration on, otherwise the warmer environment of a snowy day will melt the track surface away. So you're caught between a rock and a hard place, but the ice master here is absolutely phenomenal at his job, and his team are so dedicated. So in reverse order then, Georgetta Popescu will be first off, followed by Sylvia Hoffman, Victoria Chinanska, Margot Bock, Linda Wyszewski and the rest. And then we will get to the top half dozen. Probably that's where the medals are coming from. No disrespect to Kaylee Humphries and Kim Kilicki, but they are a way off from the top group. And with 1/1300ths covering the top 6, it's anybody's race. Youth Olympic champion 2020, Georgetta Popescu for Romania. Made her debut in Winterberg in 2023. This is still only her 6th Monobob World Cup start. 6:42 first heat, 6:55 in the second. It's over a 1/10 of a second slower, and that is unusual. Little touch there from 3, puts her offline into 4, and hits on 5 on the way out. She's skidding sideways into 6. Skids off 6 down to 7 and 8. And here to corner 9, the first of the signature corners, Harold Chudai, the Altenberg legend after whom it's named. His son is forerunning, by the way, this weekend, not Harold himself. 105 kilometres now. We'll see speeds closer to 1:15, I think, possibly from the fastest sleds. Down at the bottom, speed will rise again, out of 14, uphill into 15. Little drop down and then back up through 16 and 17, and uphill to the finish line, just there by the Omega clock. 1:02.90. That's a second slower than her first run, so maybe we won't see those high speeds in this second heat, with more snow coming down on the track. Now, the sweeping protocol in the first heat was every 3rd sled, to my eye, and this is on a foreshortening lens on the camera at the finish. It does look a little heavier. And I see the back of the sled there, not following at all what the driver wants. And that big drift then puts the nose down, makes it hard to control the second pressure in corner 4, the Omega turn. And similar here in the Kreisel. And then out of 15 into 16 again. Watch the back, not following the nose. Part of that is maybe a lack of speed because of the snow. But Georgeta Popescu of Romania is our early leader. Next up, Sylvia Hoffman. A little bit of a wild ride for the American driver in the first run. And Sylvia, again, very new to this. This is only her 3rd World Cup start in Monobob. Started learning to drive before the Beijing Games in 2022, and really accelerated that after taking Olympic bronze in the women's bob. Full part of the World Cup team. A little wavy through 4, hits off 5. Experience here is very low. She did make her World Cup debut here in the February race, finished in 9th place. Finished in 9th place in La Plana, beg your pardon, 16th here last year, so 19th place. She'd like to improve on that. This does look like a tidier run. Speed's not quite as good as Georgeta Popescu of Romania, maybe because she's just hitting a few more things on the way down. 1.1 seconds up. It was out to 1.3 seconds. Across the line, 1.12. So a 62.19 for Sylvia Hoffman. And she had a 61.38 in the first heat. I'm thinking the track is not as fast, quite significantly not as fast. Late and hauls it off 9. You could see a lot of steering input there late in the corner. She essentially came down too early, and centrifugal force pushing her back up, so she had to really drag it off the corner. Out of 14 here, just a little tap. Sled goes light over the brow, but she was fortunate it didn't break into big skid. Well, this is how you learn. There's only one way to do it. There are no simulators. You just have to race. Because without racing, you rarely get training. So sweeping after the second sleds then, it would seem, every 2 sleds. So that's a bit of a tough break for Sylvia Hoffman. Because now Victoria Chinanka gets the sweep before her. Now, she was 3/10 up on the American driver. Georgeta Popescu, who started this second heat, the Youth Olympic champion in 2020. That was the Lausanne Winter Youth Olympics. Sliding sports were held in St. Skeleton bobsleigh. And Victoria Chinanska was the silver medalist. She does seem to have slightly better career trajectory going in monobob than the woman who beat her then. 6.50, so a whisker quicker than Popescu, but not quite the 6.14 we saw from Sylvia Hoffman. Not bad from 4 to 5. Looked pretty smooth onto 6. Chilanska sits relatively far forward in the sled still. Lots of the athletes starting to sit further, or right from the beginning, starting to sit further and further back. In fact, that is misleading. She's about halfway back. There are taller athletes sitting further back, trying to get the sled weight back by sitting as close to the rear axle as you can. You don't have the extra weight of a push athlete in the back. Chilanska with a 5,500s lead. But again, 86 hundredths slower than her first heat. Only just getting over that rise. Not even quite getting over it, really, just getting to the top. Again, late off 9. I wonder if this is the reduced speed, just making it a little harder to place the sled where you want. Look at 11, 12. Again, she hits straight onto 12. So coming a little late out of 11. Ducks her head out of sight. Why would you do that? Well, because it's worth 100. And sometimes that can make a place change. Don't forget, the gap first to second is only 200ths. Both of them are better ducking their head at the line if they want gold. Now then, Margot Bock from France. 15th best start, 17th at the bottom. Somehow seemed to keep some speed on board despite the fact that she had more hits than Elvis in her first heat. If she can tidy that up, she could do well. 6.29. Second fastest start we've had in the first 4 sleds. And significantly quicker than current leader Victoria Chilanska. So that opens her first round lead to 3,500 as she sat down. She's nearly doubled that already. This is looking a little better. Don't want to overstate it just yet. Out of 9, gets 1 tap and comes straight down into the Kreisel. Best speed we've seen. She's quite a petite athlete. She is sitting a decent way back, which is always good to see. It's sort of, it must be strange to be sitting so far behind the cowl when normally it's right in front of your face. But she's adapting well to it. And 9/10 up. Good strong run from Margot Bock. That might move her up the order. 1:01 dead. 1:00.94 in the first heat, so only 600ths of a second slower than her first run. That's a big improvement compared to how much time everybody else lost relative to their first run. So she may stay in the leader's box. Again, you can see she's about halfway back down the seating area of the sled. Moving that weight back over the rear axle gives you more control. You can steer the front, but by getting more weight onto the rear, tends to help the rear axle follow the front rather than have a little light-weighted mind of its own. So Margot Bock, closest to an improvement on her first heat. She takes the lead. Next up, Linda Barszewski of Poland. Again, talked about ducking your head. She was ahead of Margot by 1/100th of a second. If you don't duck your head, you can easily lose that at the speeds they're doing at the bottom. 6:16 getaway. So she's added another 1,300ths to a first heat advantage with that start. That gives her better acceleration early on in the run as well. Now 1,700ths up. Through 7 and 8, down to corner 9. Exit here needs to be clean. She didn't get the rub of the green there, did she? Got a big skid. Still had third best speed onto the Kreisel, but it's a very wavy Kreisel. Third best speed out of only 5 sleds. And again, as before, looking around the cows. So she's trying to sit as low down as possible out of the airstream. Whoa, late off 15. Got it back together in the final couple of corners. 101.86. She drops a spot. Again, quite close to the first heat, 101.93. Margot Bock has the lead after the first 5 sleds. Heat 2 of the season opener in the women's monobob. Francesco getting sideways there. 11 and 12. Yeah, pretty rocky transition there as well. And then off 15. Whoa! You don't want to be doing that with a 4-man. Get all that beef rolling sideways. Sled's not kind of stay on the ice. Not with the runners anyway. So Margot Bock with the lead after the first 5 sleds, 15 to go. Belgium's Kelly van Petegem at the back of the sled, at the front her former driver Anne van Nieuwenhuis, who's now coaching, leading the Belgian Bullets. And Kelly, who turned 25 on Tuesday this week in her 4th Monobob World Cup race. Made her debut in Innsbruck. She was 12th there. That remains her best result. Last World Cup she drove actually was here. They didn't go to Lake Placid. She finished in 15th place here in the race in February of this year. And she currently lies in 14th place, I beg your pardon, in 15th place after the first heat. But with a chance to move up. 6:31 getaway. Just avoids the touch 2 to 3. Little skid into 3. Quite wavy through 4 and into 5. And sliding down into 7-8. Out of 9, doesn't come straight, gets tapped straight. Whoa, double tap. Second best speed, fastest of all, was the French driver Margot Bock. Long skid out of the Kreisel and gets bumped around in 11 and 12. Still second best speed. The gap first to second is 85 hundredths. That is a chasm into which she is falling. She will be second at the line. No, she's not. 91 hundredths back. Third at the line. She drops a couple of spots. 101.95 compared to 60.90. So 1.05 seconds slower run. Everybody helping out. Macy Tarleton first to get to the sled. The rest of the girls are running it in. Look at this. Yikes. Now, briefly there, she was about 5'10". I now anticipate a slightly sarky message from Anne van Nieuwenhuis when she re-watches this. Tail of the sled really meandering around behind her there. So Kelly drops 2 spots. It's not going to be a World Cup best, I'm afraid. It's not going to match what she did here either. But all sorts of changes could happen. This is a fairly tightly packed field, and Canada's Melissa Lotholtz making remarkably her World Cup debut in monobob. Surely you would have thought she must have started a World Cup race before. She has not. 6:06 getaway. Crikey, she's still got legs, hasn't she? 5th fastest with 6:06 in the first heat. So 32 a week ago. She's the North America's Cup monobob champion. plenty of monobob racing under her belt. Ooh, not the greatest straight. Third best speed onto the Kreisel. Still in the green by 3/10, but that's going away 2/10. That was close. Second best speed. Not sure she's got enough to hold on over Margot Bock. 1200s. It's going to be close. Might be needing to duck ahead here to take the lead. What's she got at the line? 200ths of a second. Wow. Well, if she ducked ahead, she might have dubbed that. So Melissa Lottholz takes the lead in her first World Cup race. Raced in the World Championships in Winterberg to 14th place in the mono. And she had competed in the Women's Monobob World Championships here in 2021. It was right at the beginning of the adventure. And again, 11-12. Is it the snow that's having effect? Is everybody just arriving late there because of the snow? I don't know. Among the many other things, I don't know. Melissa Lottholz with the lead. 7 down, 13 to go as we get to Great Britain's Adele Nicol. So Adele started 17th fastest. She's recovering from a pretty major ankle injury. So her push is not what she wants it to be. 17th to start, 13th at the bottom. So she's driving well. 6.30, same as she pushed in the first heat. Nice smooth run out of 1, down to 2. 3 into 4. Nicely onto 5. Good looking lines. Driving coach is the great Sean Olsen. Ooh, come on, there you go. Back online, third best speed into the Kreisel. Keeping a nice even trajectory. Decent exit, but takes a tap on the way out. 1400s back, but only the 5th best speed. She's going to struggle to stay in front of Melissa Lottholz. 2100s back. And Margot Bock is at 200s behind Lottholz. So you either beat them both or neither of them. Third at the line. It is third at the line, a quarter of a second back. So 101.39 for Adele Nicol. 6/10 slower than her first heat. Snow is definitely not anybody's friend this afternoon. Late off 9. Took the 1 hit, almost came straight, but the tail got kicked out. Maybe the little runner check there might help, maybe not. Eventually comes back online for the Kreisel. Again, 11-12. Like almost everybody, arriving late, getting ramped up onto 12. Okay, so Adele Nicol in third place, behind Melissa Lottholz and Margot Bock. And everybody, as they complete their runs, will immediately start thinking about tomorrow's Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. Melanie Hassler for Switzerland. 12th place after the first heat. Only 400s in hand over Melissa Lottholz. Styling it out in the leader's box. She's had plenty of experience of doing that. Let's see what Mel's got. Strong start, 6:11 in the first heat. She can do that in a second. She'll only give away 500s. She does. So 100th ahead of Melissa Lottholz. It's effectively a dead heat now. Mind you, 500, 600s wasn't much in it in the first place, was there? In the green. A little rough 4 to 5. Oh, Oh, and not comfortable into 6. Drops behind Lotholtz. Late off 9. Back online for the Kreisel. Only the 6th best speed in, and a little bit wavy. Looking for the exit, straight down the tubes, that's better. 7th best speed, 4/10 back. She's not going to be in the top 3 at the end of this run. Half a second back. She'll be behind Adele Nickel, but ahead of Leah Wierzchowski. And Melissa Lotholtz moves up another spot. 101.76 compared to 60.73, so 1.03 seconds slower. See, now that our sled dogs have got the routine, they're walking down track before the sled starts, so they can meet it when it runs out of puff at the top of the hill. Watch here. Whoa, that was uncomfortable off 5. Going into 5, she got pushed away and then steered hard to get onto the corner, but it was way too late. Peter Ramside on the right there. Just she's honest with herself, isn't she? So, Canada lead. We'll have a Canadian leader after this sled. Will we have a Canadian 1-2? And if so, which of the teammates will be in front? Current leader Melissa Lotholtz or her more experienced teammate Cynthia Appiah? 6 dead dart, second fastest in the competition in the first heat. 6 dead again in the second. Ooh. Tags the wall out of 2 and out of 3. Relatively clean 7-8. What about the exit of corner 9? She had to haul it off in the first heat. Not so bad this time, not skating around so much. Big wavy Kreisel. Falls off the end. Only the 6th best speed. Rocky 11 and 12 as well. 13, 14 is absolutely key. Drifts up towards 15. Still got the lead, 3/10 of a second. It will be Cynthia Appiah. Lyndon Rush absolutely overjoyed with that.
The total time and first place currently.
Mel's going to have to do a lot of flag waving until Cynthia arrives. It's a long walk in, and that's why they're jogging it home. Canada 1-2, 10 to go. Look at this again, really late height in 9. Had to haul it off again. Big late steer, same as in the first run. But at least the sled didn't just slap its way down the track. And again, 11 and 12. Stuff out of the saddle. Upside down, my goodness me. Cynthia leads, 10 to go. No commercial break because of the snow. So Keisha Love is straight up at it. Won the season opener last year in Lake Placid, La Plagne. Won in Lillehammer as well. 6:06 getaway. 300 slower than her first heat start. From here, she needs to drive her way in. We know she's got the ability to win races. Not quite as comfortable on this track as maybe some of the others. She was in 10th place last year, in February this year, last season, in the World Cup race here. Late off 9 again. Drags down the wall, wrong side into the Kreisel. She's going to have to steer it quite hard to get the line she wants on the exit. 5th best speed on, 7th best speed off. That's the work she's doing with the runners. 2 wins and a silver medal last season. 10th place finish here in Altenberg, but she may not get that this time. 2nd place, 1200s behind Cynthia.
total time and second place currently for
Cynthia was 5th last year. She had a bronze medal the season before. At the moment leads with 9 to go as Keisha slips a spot. So 10th in February may not match that. However, there are another couple of sleds tightly packed in front. So never say never. Like Cynthia, late off 9, like so many, late off 9. So Cynthia Appia leads from Keisha Love and Melissa Lottholtz, and we have 9 sleds to go.
Thank you, and it's killing fun. Love you guys. Let's have a great season. I don't know.
I definitely got to work on your leader box game in this life. So Cynthia Appia leads. Katie Bile is next up. Katie in 9th place after the first heat. 3800s advantage should be enough. Giving the track the real screws. 8th place here in February. She's 1 away from that at the moment. And 8th place here in February was her Monobob World Cup personal best. This is start number 8 for her. 6:17 getaway, 6:16 in the first heat. So she's 2100s over Appia. Ooh, tail meandering around behind her as it was in the first heat. Again, lots of drifting going on. When the runners aren't in line, then they're obviously not tracking straight, they're going sideways. Sideways when you're sliding, it's not the best ways. Good exit out of the Kreisel, 8th to 7th best speed, but she's 1/3 of a second back. She's not going to hang on to equal her result in February, unless a couple more people have dramas. She's not going to be 2nd or 3rd, it's 5th at the line, 1:01.77. Very disappointing run, I'm afraid, for Katie Bile. 8th after the first heat, she's 5th. 9th after the first heat, she's 5th with 8 to go. Might not even be a top 12 finish. Again, you can see that the tail of the sled is not following the nose. Slides up high there, and again in the second pressure of turn 4. And she fell late off 9. Managed to gather it up. Drops 4 spots. So we get to the first of our German sleds, and this is Kim Kalicki. Now, Kim went last in the first heat, 23rd on the ice. May not have had equal running surface with some of her peers, but this is definitely not her favourite discipline. Missed half of last season with injury and a crash. She's back again. It is a 2nd chance at an Olympic medal, so everybody needs to be doing it. Need to make friends with the sled. It is a mind game. 6:16 getaway, very acceptable. And as you expect from Kim, good lines, really nice, smooth flowing drive. There you go, 1 tap, comes straight onto the Kreisel, best speed of all. 3500s over Cynthia Appia, now 7500s. This is a much better second heat. 1:07.3. Apparently nothing wrong with the track at all. 9/10 up. Kalicki absolutely soaring away from Cynthia Appia and ducks ahead at the line to go 1.13 in front. and still 4/10 slower than her first heat, even though she was last out. So it is very much more snowy, but notice how much further up the outrun she got because of her greater speed. Just 1 km/h quicker than Appia through the final speed trap. That was enough to get her that little bit further. Out of 9, not bad. And 11-12. Oh, still that rocky transition onto 12 that everybody has had. Okay, so Kim Kilicki leads, and next up, Kaylee Armbruster-Humphries, the latest of our new mums returning to the sport. A serial winner on this track. Multiple race winner here. She won the World Championships back in 2021 in Monobob for a start. 6:58 getaway. And that is the bit that Alana Myers-Taylor found hardest of all, apart from juggling a young baby, obviously. Coming back to the track last year is having that fitness or regaining that fitness and that speed at the start. Hand-eye coordination doesn't go away. This is really one of Kaylee's happy hunting grounds. She's been so successful here in the past. Second best speed, but losing ground all the way down. And that start deficit of over 4/10 of a second to Kim Kilicki being multiplied down the run. But the key thing here is that Kaylee is back and driving, and we've got 2 years till the games. So our 2022, our reigning women's monobob Olympic champion is back in harness. She will race a brand new M-Tech USA sled tomorrow in the women's race. Kaylee is back. Well, this might be one of those seasons where she doesn't get a medal here in Altenberg, but never say never. Two wins in the season before last on this track. Beat Laura Nolte into silver in both races here in Altenberg. And look how far back she sits. You can see her hands, you can almost see her knees. She's so far back in that Kreisel shot. She knows how to get the best out of the sled. She knows how to get the best out of this track. She knows how to get the best out of herself. All she needs now is time and patience. So, Kaylee Humphries leads, 6 to go. Now, Kaylee in the first heat was 38 hundredths out of the lead. The top 6 are covered by 13 hundredths. This is anybody's race right now. 6 sleds, 13 hundredths of a second. This is where we decide the medals. It is a one-run race, effectively, particularly given the slightly questionable snow conditions. And so this is now everything. All you've got, but don't overdrive. Romania's Andreea Grecu, podium finisher in La Plan last year. She's got experience, she's got speed at the start, 5:95, fastest starter so far. She was the second fastest starter in the first heat. Last year, she had a bit of a mixed season. Good pace at some places, absolutely at sea at others. This is looking like a decent run, 6 400s up. Now, all we can judge is how far ahead of Kim Kilicki she gets. Only the 7th best speed, though. That's not great. She's come from 64 hundredths up to 39 hundredths up. If it's in the teens at the line, that will be okay. It should be a top 6 finish. Not sure that's enough for a medal. A 10th in it. Oh my goodness. However, it is a top 6 finish for Andrea Grecu.
Romania.
4th here last year. Will she match that? Could she get on the podium? She had to jump out and help push the sled up. Boys weren't really watching, boys. You haven't sort of paid attention to what's been happening so far. Look at this, steering hard to get off 9. Managed to release that steer a little just as she dropped onto the straight, but she still got that double tap down there. Again, 11-12. Not treating anybody well, is it? Andrea Grecu of Romania leads. 5 to go. This is as tight as you like. Making no mistakes here. Getting away immediately is Lisa Buckwitz. Buckwitz, a 4-time winner in monobob last season, the World Cup champion. Finished in bronze behind Alana Myers-Taylor and winner Laura Nolte in the race here in February. Little tap going from 3 into 4. Tidies it up. She was only 100th, I beg your pardon, in front of Andrea Grecu from the first heat. She added another 100th at the start. She's a quarter second up, second best speed. Fastest of all, her own teammate Kim Kilicki. So the FES sleds, as ever, knocking it out of the park. 11-12 was a little rocky. Building the lead, though. 3600ths, 4/10ths. Should be getting on for half a second lead. Is this Lisa Buckwitz claiming a medal? 4600ths. René Spies and Leo Leopold applauding that. World Cup champion Lisa Buckwitz, there's the family.
Rang 5, das ist abgesichert. Die erste Athletin hier, die in der Gesamtzeit
so Lisa Buckwitz has the lead, but not yet a medal. 4 to go. Lisa Buckwitz, Andrea Grecu, Kim Kilicki. That's your top 3. Buckwitz, little hard slap, exiting 9. It came straight for her. And here in the Kreisel, allows that first pressure to rise. Didn't fight it. 11-12. Yeah, momentarily airborne. So excited. Okay. Buckwitz leads, 4 to go. Laura Nolte, double monobob world champion. Winner here last February, or this February, last season. So confusing. 6:04 getaway, 600ths quicker than her first start. Well, she can't match Lisa Buckwitz at the start, but she got within a 10th. That makes a difference. $1900s back. Oh, not a great run down into the Kreisel, only the 3rd best speed. Buckwitz had the 2nd best speed. 2nd best speed now, a whisker quicker than Lisa Buckwitz. This is going to be tight. She's got to find 2/10. She's found nearly 1/10. I don't think she's got ice left enough. I think Lisa Buckwitz has the lead with 3 to go. No! Beg your pardon, Laura Nolte nicks it by 200ths. 100th of a second slower on that run than Lisa Buckwitz. Handily, she had 300ths of a second advantage from the first heat. So Laura Nolte, Lisa Buckwitz, 200ths apart. They are 1-2 and still not guaranteed a medal. Out of 9. Well, she trusted the line, but it wasn't quite right. Had that little skid, double tap, then leaning it into the Kreisel. 11-12. One of the less rocky transitions. As a result, though, she gets a tap into 13. And across the line, she's the leader, but there are still 3 to go. So, Laura Nolte, Lisa Buckwitz, Andrea Gricko, the top 3. 3 to go. And in the top 3 after the first heat, silver medalist in the last 2 races of the season. So here and Lake Placid, Alana Myers-Taylor. Took Alana most of her returning season to get in amongst the medals in the monobob. She's now had another year, well, a long summer at least, to try and get herself once more into that winning position. There's the margin, 400s. She was only 500s off the front of the field. 400s ahead of our current leader, Laura Nolte. As I said before with Andrea Gricko, this is effectively a dead heat. It's show up or don't. 6:07 getaway. So she's added 300s to the lead over Nolte. I beg your pardon, she's lost 300s to Nolte. She only had 400s in hand. And Nolte with a little bit better speed. So Alana in the red, a 10th back. Don't forget, in monobob, everybody uses the same Bavarian-built Ixent sled. Choose your own runners. They are the same as on a normal 2-seat sled. Ooh, wavy Kreisel, and she's gone! Sled nearly righted itself. But a long and very uncomfortable ride down the track. Upside down for Alana Myers-Taylor. After the horrible accidents last year, they have put a whole bunch of extra track workers in to try and recover sleds before they start rolling backwards. But the problem with a monobob sled is it doesn't go quite as far as a 2-man or a 4-man sled, and Alana has to tuck herself in because they did not do enough to stop it. And it now runs back down the hill and it goes back up the other side, and then will eventually come down and find the low point. After the frightening injuries last year, the athletes will be concerned that it is happening again. So there'll be a 5-minute track hold. Alana did cross the line upside down. Not that she's vaguely interested in that. She seems to be okay enough. And the medical crew arrive at the bottom of the track. And this is onto the Kreisel. Maybe a little late on. Big second pressure. And then the third pressure, quite high as well, brings it down too early, rises on the exit, and just rolls up the lip of the wave, effectively. And she's just trying to lift herself up. The sled won't come back. Here it nearly righted itself in 11 and 12. It's a very, very uncomfortable ride. Sitting as far back as they have to in the monobob, not able to try and tuck themselves under the cowl as effectively as they might do in a 2-seat sled crash. Well, the medical crew will examine her while the sled is being recovered. And sincerely hoping that Alana is A-OK, that there are no injuries. Ice burns are a frequent issue with crashes like that. Concussion as well. She's got 2 small boys waiting for her back in their lodgings. So the track hold with 2 sleds to go will not be helping the nerves of anybody. The athletes who have safely come down will be rightly concerned that they've seen one of their peers in a very unfortunate accident. And the 2 sleds that remain, talk about pressure. Well, Alana was the 18th sled, so there would be track sweeping now anyway. So I'm talking over you, Laura. Do that again. Tiddler, tiddler, tiddler. Winner here last time out in February from Alana Myers-Taylor and Lisa Buckwitz. And at the moment, Laura Nolte and Lisa Buckwitz 1-2, with Alana having just suffered that crash. So we are now within 2 minutes of the restart. Well, if she wasn't nervous before, Deborah Annan, I wonder how she's feeling now. The man in the front of your shot there, Chris Woolley, will be doing everything he can to try and make sure that she is as relaxed and ready to go as possible. She's just getting Peter Ramseidel to, it wasn't Peter actually, one of the other technicians, to just have a little check inside the sled, maybe clean a bit of ice off it. Well, what an opportunity for Deborah Annan. Second in the first heat, just 200s off the lead. She only has 700s in hand over the 2-time world champion and the last winner on this track, Laura Nolte. This is going to be absolutely fascinating just to see how she reacts to this. Not just the pressure of being second last out of the changing room, which she has not experienced before in World Cup race, but also because of the delay. Here we go for a medal, Deborah Annan of Switzerland. Laura Nolte leads 6:27, so he loses a quarter of a second to Laura Nolte at the start. Deborah started 6:24 in the first heat, little rocking and rolling, 2-3. You need to have absolute nerves of steel, ice in your veins in a situation like that to be able to block it out. And for a young driver like this, Deborah Annan, in only her 3rd World Cup monobob race, 7th best speed at the Kreisel. Top 2 are separated by just 200ths of a second. They're going to be very hard to beat, Laura Nolte and Lisa Buckwitz. Deborah Annan 9/10 back. It's not happening for her. She's going to drop out of the top half dozen. What a shame. 5th at the line, but 1 to go. So it will be a top 6 finish for Deborah Annan. Her previous best, 12th place in the race here in February. But Laura Nolte and Lisa Buckwitz will both be in the medals again, as they were in February. Smile on her face. Big looping slide there. Just a few too many errors. Was she just tight? Was she over-driving, overthinking? Or would she perhaps have had the same run if she'd been 10th or 12th or 14th? Impossible to know. She's got a smile on her face. Top 6 is her best World Cup result. But the potential of that elusive medal, we'll have to wait for another day. What about Brianna Walker? First heat leader. Just 900s in hand. Pierre Luders could think her down, he would, but it's down to Bree to take this. 6:12 start in the first heat, 6:12 start in the second. So she loses 8 of the 900s to Laura Nolte at the start, and Laura had better velocity, so she's in the red. She's going to have to beat Laura Nolte driving in Altenberg. She's going to have to take the gold medal away from her. Well, she won in Lake Placid, crowning of her best season in monobob yet, but she's late off 9, skating down the track. It's not happening. 6th best speed. Laura Nolte's going to win this. Where does Brianna Walker end up? 11th best speed. It's all going very badly wrong. The second run for Bree Walker, nothing like the first. She's going to be 4th at the line. Across the line in 5th place, it's victory for Laura Nolte. Silver medal goes to Lisa Buckwitz, and Andrea Grecu gets the bronze. Well, somewhere in that top 6, we knew there would be a bit of a sort out for the medals. And first and second after the first heat end up in 5th and 6th after the track hold. Well, Brianna Walker, more experienced than Deborah Annan, but nevertheless just could not find a speed to defeat the Germans on a German track in mixed conditions.
Laura Nolte. Vierte war sie.
Another day will be her day. She's too good for it not to be. But Laura Nolte claims the first win of the World Cup season. Victory in Altenberg. 2 really strong starts for Laura Nolte. Top 6 starter, and ended up in the top 6 in the first heat. 4th place after the first run, but it was such a closely matched top half dozen that it was anybody's race grab. And cometh the hour, cometh the woman. Laura Nolte takes the gold. Lisa Buckwitz on the podium in silver position. And Andrea Grecu in the bronze. Just 200s first to second. Andrea Grecu holding off Kim Kilicki, with Brianna Walker and Deborah Annan rounding out the top half dozen. The returning Kaylee Humphries in 7th in a second half of the top 10 North American logjam ahead of Cynthia Appiah-Keishalov and Melissa Lottholtz. Just outside the 10, Margot Bock, Katy Bile, Adele Nickel, Mel Hasler, Linda Wierzchewski, and Kelly van Pettigem. Then Victoria Chinanska, Sylvia Hoffman, and Georgetta Pescu, and Alana Myers-Taylor crossing the line upside down, and sincerely hoping that she feels an awful lot better in the morning than she probably does now. And her babies will be needing her tonight. So our world champion strikes first and strikes hardest. Laura Nolte takes gold by a whisker from last year's World Cup champion. And Andrea Grecu on the podium once more. So for the Romanian driver, that's her 3rd monobob medal, her 2nd bronze, with a silver in the mix as well. And that's it from a snowy Saturday evening. Time to get the bratwurst and glühwein going, I think, before the end of the night. Don't forget that you can join us tomorrow. More women's action in the morning, so they don't have much rest and respite time. They'll be on track at 11:45 local, 10:45 GMT, 05:45 tomorrow morning Eastern, Sunday, December 8th. And then the 4-man competition gets underway in the afternoon. 3:30 local, 15:30 CET, 14:30 GMT, and 09:30 Eastern. But our first appointment will be at 11:45, 10:45 GMT tomorrow morning for the women's bobsleigh race. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Komt-ie. Laura Nolte, congratulations, winning another World Cup here in Altenberg. So a very big difference between your first and second run. What was the big difference?
Yeah, the weather conditions were very, very hard today. It was snowy, it was sticky, it wasn't easy to drive. I'm not that satisfied with my runs. I'm very satisfied with my push times though. It's a personal best for me at the push. That's what I was aiming for. But yeah, the weather conditions weren't easy, but I guess it was enough.
It's quite difficult to get around the snow, to get around the sticky circumstances. So how do you prepare for that run?
Yeah, the good thing is that we have a lot of experience on this track and we have always like different conditions. But you know then when it's that sticky, you don't have to steer that much. But if you steer, it sometimes oversteers. You just have to focus to not do too much, and that's what I did today. But I hope for better conditions tomorrow.
Great start of the season, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
waiting for me.